The following episode is part of a series dedicated to exposing an organized hateful group that has been on a relentless pursuit to destroy the medical medium community and that has been attacking, bullying, harassing, and preying upon the chronically ill. Joining me in this series is a guest named Amber Vizzacaro. She's an alternative medicine practitioner who became a whistleblower after she witnessed this hateful group in action when they tried to recruit her to join them last year. Amber caught the main members of this group on legally recorded calls describing their premeditated multi-step plan to create a, quote, post-medical medium era by feeding false stories and claims about me and about medical medium information to major media outlets in hopes that it would lead to securing themselves a deal for an anti-medical medium documentary on Netflix that would bring fame and other benefits to them. Now known infamously instead for their malicious plot that was caught on recording and exposed, we refer to this hateful group as the Plotters. Their entire smear campaign is spearheaded by one woman who comes from an extremely wealthy family, didn't get what she wanted from me years ago, and is now seeking revenge. She's made it her mission to gather a bunch of plotters with ulterior motives and axes to grind, including competitors in the health industry, to try to frame medical medium and take down the community. What this organized hateful group has done is unprecedented. It's one of the biggest scandals that's ever happened in the health industry. As you'll see, it's also one of the biggest instances of capturing corruption within the mainstream media. So prepare yourself for lots of details and nuances as we are going to be thoroughly untangling the massive web of lies they have spun. And we're going to be releasing a lot of disturbing new information, new recordings, and mind-blowing evidence of just how far they are going to lie to try to get what they want. Some of the evidence we're presenting in these episodes includes original written content, such as text messages, social media posts that have been produced by the plotters and will be reenacted for greater ease in following along. Those who are listening along to the podcast can find video versions of these episodes on the Medical Medium YouTube and Rumble channels that will be displaying screenshots, photos, videos, and more. Some of you may be unaware that this has even been happening, but many of you have been tremendously injured and harmed by what they have done. The record needs to be set straight, and they need to be called out for what they've done and are still doing. The medical medium community does not deserve to be attacked like this, and we are going to set the record straight as many times as we need to.
People who lie are liars. If you're willing to lie about one thing, you might be willing to lie about everything. One lie calls into question the entirety of someone's character. What about 2, 3, 4, 100 lies? These are words from Ashleigh Foster, words that she is soon going to eat. Because as I've said from the very beginning, what Ashleigh projects and tries to accuse other people of being and doing is usually what she herself is guilty of being and doing. Ashleigh is the ringleader of an organized anti-medical medium hateful group that she created on a mountain of lies. Ashleigh has been lying and attacking Anthony for years, and she has now incited a group of people that are out there attacking, harassing, and bullying the medical medium community, and even going as far as to make videos of themselves burning medical medium books.
Okay, all these medical medium books are going to be burned today. It's happening. This is going in first celery juice 1. I took out the insides because it's going to take forever to burn.
Why is Ashleigh really doing this? Many have asked. In response to the activities of the plotters, one online commenter said, "It's clear there are other motives behind all this." A different commenter said, "It's just full-on reckless, ruthless attacks that seems like it doesn't have anything to do with the realities nor facts of our community. Just attacks simply to bring us down, utterly nonsensical and infuriating." And another commenter said, "It's so clear that there's an agenda. I don't see why anyone would listen to all their natter." So what are Ashleigh's ulterior motives? What is this really about for her? What type of person is capable of harboring so much hatred towards someone who does nothing but help the chronically ill, even long after the made-up story they tried to use to slander him was proven to be false? What type of person could be so painfully entitled and careless so as to spend years plotting and obsessively trying to bring Anthony and the entire medical medium community of chronically ill people who are already struggling down? Today, we're going to be answering these questions. Ashleigh's true motives are going to be exposed for the first time. We're going to be revealing some shocking new facts that are wildly inconsistent with Ashleigh's proclamation that she's doing this smear campaign, quote, #4step to Zoni. And we're going to begin exposing some of the many, many more lies that Ashleigh has told since the release of our podcast episodes last year. You may recall that in our previous episodes, we played the following recording of Taylor Call and Robbie Barbero describing their friend and the #1 plotter, Ashleigh Foster.
And by the way, Ash doesn't need to work. Ash has ever. The woman she's
family money.
a lot of it. Yeah. Private jet and plus.
Ashleigh has since responded to this part of our podcasts. Somebody said to her, "You are independently wealthy. What is the source of your family's wealth? I'm suspicious because of that." And Ashleigh replied,
"My dad grew up without shoes or electricity. His first job was knocking the cement off all bricks for a penny a brick. He worked incredibly hard, harder than anyone else I have ever met. Eventually, he was able to buy one of the houses he built for $700. He sold it later for a few thousand. He built another house by hand and sold that. By the time he died at 83, he had been working in real estate for 60 years. He built and sold houses and eventually apartment buildings. He was able to leave an amazing legacy for our family. I'm incredibly proud of him and grateful. That said, we don't own a plane like they said in the podcast. We aren't able to spend money without thinking about it. We don't have vacation homes like Anthony does. We don't have the ability to pay indefinitely for aggressive lawyers like Anthony does. We're just able to live a comfortable life where I can stay home with my kids and homeschool them. My husband works incredibly hard. There's nothing crazy here. We're just blessed, and I'm really grateful."
So Ashleigh's claiming specifically that, quote, "we don't have a plane," and, quote, "we don't have vacation homes." She's trying to portray herself as a victim of Anthony's lawyers, saying that she can't afford ongoing legal representation of her own, and she's depicting herself as having a simple, humble life. Just to give you an idea of how absurd these statements and characterizations are, I'm going to reference some of the many news articles that have been published about Ashleigh's family. A July 2021 article in the Daily Mail is headlined, "Son of late billionaire real estate developer Gene Phillips wages legal battle against his father's mistress over $6.3 million gift she claims is hers." The article states, in reference to Ashleigh's father, Gene Phillips, born in South Carolina, he relocated to Dallas, buying a 16-acre property next to George W. Bush, and making a $3.5 billion fortune in real estate and energy, the Daily Beast reported. Ashleigh, the #1 plotter, as you just heard, is the daughter of a multi-billionaire with a B. Not only was Ashleigh dishonest about her family's wealth, but she also said that her father was able to leave an amazing legacy for her family and that she is incredibly proud of him. In 2001, the Wall Street Journal, however, described Ashleigh's father, Gene Phillips, using the following terms. Mr. Phillips has long been one of the most controversial figures in publicly traded real estate, which, in that famously eccentric industry, is saying something. According to court documents and multiple news outlets, including the BBC and the New York Times, Ashleigh's father was indicted with members of the mafia in the year 2000. Reporting conducted by the BBC states that members of the 5 mafia families in New York are among 120 people who have been charged in the largest crackdown on securities fraud in U.S. history. The defendants were arrested for their alleged part in nationwide stock fraud schemes that caused losses of more than $50 million over a 5-year period. They used bribery, extortion, and even murder threats to pursue the frauds that reaped millions of dollars in illegal profits, prosecutors said. The defendants include Gene Phillips. The New York Times states that a familiar name popped up among the relative unknowns charged with a raft of misdeeds that included stock manipulation, money laundering, and pension fund fraud. Gene Phillips, former head of the Southmark Corporation. In their indictment of Mr. Phillips last week, prosecutors said he had caused American Realty to issue preferred stock where 20% of the proceeds was to be secretly kicked back to what prosecutors called a criminal organization. Lori Bailey, a special agent for the Federal Bureau of Investigation in Dallas, said that while he awaits trial, Mr. Phillips must wear an electronic monitor. His house is so large, however, that agents had to install 3 monitoring stations where typically 1 is needed. Gene did not end up being convicted. However, news outlet records and litigation documents show that Ashleigh's father has been the subject of class action lawsuits, many scandals, and many other types of lawsuits, even still to this day. In 2001, the Wall Street Journal described Ashleigh's father as being best remembered as the head of Southmark Corp., the Dallas real estate conglomerate that collapsed in 1989 in a swirl of lawsuits. Mr. Phillips now presides over a $2 billion empire. Forbes once reported that Phillips' name does not shine brightly in real estate circles. With his record of mismanagement, Southmark was one of the largest bankruptcies in U.S. history, and his penchant for using public companies he controls to enrich himself. Forbes also states that Phillips wove a tangled web. Bankrupt in 1989, Southmark left more than $1 billion in investor losses. His investors lost heavily. Phillips lived lavishly in Texas. Just a few weeks ago, in this current year of 2024, D Magazine covered another scandal involving Ashleigh's father in an article titled, "Behind the $22 million Verdict Against Gene Phillips' Company." The article reports that Daniel Moose, the former president and CEO of Pillar Income Asset Management, sued his former employer after he was fired and claimed the company refused to pay him what he was owed. The first serious sign of Daniel Moose's trouble at Pillar Income Asset Management arrived with a document he had never seen. It was a 2-page contract that said Moose had signed his 2% stake in a $1.8 billion real estate deal back to his employer. The document had Dallas real estate executive Gene Phillips' signature and his own, but there was one big problem. Moose said he had never signed the contract. The allegedly forged contract was key evidence in a trial where a jury recently awarded Moose more than $22 million in salary and real estate compensation after he sued his former employer. The plaintiff's petition calls the document in which Moose allegedly signed over his rights to VAA the doctored letter, and says it was created by taking the signature from a different document and combining it with a new cover page. It also says the document was altered by a typewriter after the fact to reflect that Pillar was a third party to the agreement with Phillips and Moose. The Pillar signature line's font differs from the rest of the document. As it turns out, it's an awfully fragile glass mansion that Ashleigh is trying to throw stones from.
Can we play that last audio again?
And by the way, Ash doesn't need to work. Ash has ever. The woman is
family money.
a lot of it.
Yeah.
Private jet and plus.
Ashleigh's closest friends said that she doesn't have to work and that she has a lot of family money, like private jet plus.
And then Ashleigh denied their claims after the podcast came out.
That said, we don't own a plane like they said in the podcast. We aren't able to spend money without thinking about it. We don't have vacation homes like Anthony does.
This part is hilarious because Ashleigh has always been an aspiring writer, and she had written a piece about her own life years ago. She sent it to multiple people who have since submitted evidence to us. In this piece, in reference to her family, Ashleigh had said this.
My mother was gorgeous. My father was brilliant and rich. They had cars and planes and houses all over the globe.
Brilliant and rich. Cars and planes, plural, and homes all over the globe. Furthermore, in 2018, Ashleigh's childhood home was listed in an article by D Magazine titled The 100 Most Expensive Homes in Dallas. Her family's home ranked number 6 at a value at the time of $29,556,320. The house Ashleigh currently lives in and posts about on social media in Colorado is an 80-acre property worth $10 million. Ashleigh's previous home in California sold for $7.3 million. And we know people who have visited multiple different properties of Ashleigh's in different places around the country, some of which are worth close to $13 million. Once, in the process of trying to purchase a property, Ashleigh had sent a text to a friend that says the following.
Our first loan didn't close. 2 days before closing, the board of the bank had approved the loan. When our broker got a random call, they were canceling it.
The friend asked, "Was your dad a backer?" And Ashleigh replied,
I was in tears and so confused, and he was so pissed off and confused. My dad looks at the paperwork and goes, "Oh, this bank never would have made you a loan. I sued them for $70 million last year. Hashtag, thanks, Dad."
The friend said, "Holy shit, LOL." So Ashleigh's dad, a late billionaire, had sued a bank for $70 million. But Ashleigh wants you to believe that she can't afford a lawyer and that she is somehow a victim of Anthony's legal representation because she has simply been notified that she is repeatedly spreading verifiably false information about Anthony and about medical medium information, and she continues to ignore the facts that have been presented to her. In a different text, Ashleigh wrote this.
We bought an apartment building in Texas with the help of my dad.
Ashleigh and her husband bought an apartment building with the help of her dad. A lot of people rent apartments. Not many people can buy apartment buildings as investment properties. And we have another text from Ashleigh to a friend.
A lot of huge things going on over here. $100+ million deals, etc. It's a lot to get my mind around, and I feel easily overwhelmed if I don't just focus on listening for what God has for me.
So she's involved with $100+ million deals.
$100+ million deals. But remember, everybody, Ashleigh just lives a simple, humble life. She can't even afford legal representation. And again, she's the victim when she gets called out for the falsities that she originated and took to the media with the expressed intent of harming Anthony and the community.
We're hopeful that once the article's out, one of the directors or producers that Britton works with will, become interested in telling the story really well. I think it's going to take that because Anthony is so, he has such a presence. Mm-hmm. And if it just stops at the article, I'm guessing that there would be some buzz in the medical medium community for a few months, but really, I think then it would kind of die down. But ultimately, the way to really get the word out is would be a Netflix documentary, So once you hit that level of being exposed, there's no coming back from that.
There's kind of no coming back from that. That's what Ashleigh wants for Anthony. And let me be clear that nobody over here cares if Ashleigh has money or not. That's not the problem. It's the fact that she's being ridiculously dishonest about it and even publicly rebutting what her own close friends who know her situation personally said about her wealth, at the same time as Ashleigh's trying to convince everyone that she's so perfectly honest and morally superior. The truth is that Ashleigh will throw anybody under the bus, even her own friends, who threaten the mask she's wearing as she's trying to portray herself to be an everyday innocent mommy so that people are more likely to believe her lies. Ashleigh's misrepresenting herself, just like she's misrepresented the entire Stephanie story, and just like she continues to misrepresent medical medium information with every lie and every falsity she's out there peddling. Here is, again, Ashleigh's response to what Taylor and Robbie said about her.
That said, we don't own a plane like they said in the podcast.
They don't own a plane. Maybe Ashleigh doesn't have a plane, but her family does, or at least they did. There's obviously a reason why Robbie and Taylor said what they did, and Ashleigh's being dishonest again. Just a minute ago, you heard what we read from Ashleigh from another time in which she said explicitly that her family has homes and cars and planes all over the globe. If that wasn't enough, there's also an article on businesswire.com from 2017 about Ashleigh's father that reads, Dallas real estate entrepreneur and philanthropist Gene E. Phillips offered his private plane for a humanitarian flight to St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands last week. Her father offered up his plane, not a plane, his plane. There are also multiple currently public posts on Ashleigh's mother's Instagram account in which the family can be seen on a private jet, like in this video.
What's in this thing? Is he messing with the dogs? Look at those dogs trying to bite me. Crazy dogs, right?
More. He wants to do it again.
If you're listening to the podcast version of this episode, what you just heard is the sound to a video of Ashleigh's family on a private jet that seems to be on its way to the location tagged of Kukio, Hawaii. It appears as though Ashleigh's mother is recording the video while Ashleigh's dad is holding Ashleigh's daughter on his lap as he's showing her something on his phone. And Ashleigh herself is in plain view talking to someone behind him on the private jet. It was posted on June 25th of 2019 with the caption, quote, "Memories, priceless, as if from a trip they had taken in previous years." It gets even crazier. There are two posts, one from July 7th of 2018 and one from July 15th of 2018, with photos of Ashleigh's kids on a private plane with Ashleigh's dad. The July 7th, 2018 post is captioned, quote, "We are headed to Pennsylvania." This was 4 months before Stephanie passed away, and Pennsylvania is where Stephanie lived. Ashleigh's family took the private jet that Ashleigh's now claiming that they don't have or have access to the very state in which Stephanie lived just 4 months before Stephanie died. And yet, Ashleigh did not visit Stephanie once during the entire time she was sick. We know this because in a blog post Ashleigh wrote on March 7th of 2020, she said this.
Steph went back home after a few months, and our relationship turned into texts and occasional phone calls. She was the kind of friend I didn't talk to every day, but I never worried about it because I knew the second I saw her again, it would be like we hadn't missed a day. Unfortunately, I wouldn't have that chance.
Here, Ashleigh is referring to a time when Stephanie stayed with her in 2016. Ashleigh is saying in this post that she never saw Stephanie again after that time. Stephanie passed away on November 13th of 2018, over 2 years later. In an Instagram post from March 6th of 2020, Ashleigh said something similar.
Steph went back home to Pennsylvania a few months later, and a relationship turned into texts and occasional calls. She was the kind of friend I didn't talk to every day, but who I knew I would never miss a beat with the second I saw her again. Unfortunately, I never would.
Ashleigh's saying she would never get the chance, as if Stephanie had died right after that. But Ashleigh had over 2 years of a chance.
For someone who claims to have cared so much about Stephanie that Stephanie is the reason why she is so determined to blatantly harm Anthony and the medical medium community, it seems just a little strange that Ashleigh did not visit Stephanie once while Stephanie was sick for 2 years. Ashleigh clearly has the means. Her family, according to her own words, has, quote, cars and planes and houses all over the globe, and Ashleigh appears to even have been on one of said private planes with her family to Pennsylvania just a few months before Stephanie died in Pennsylvania, and yet Ashleigh still did not visit her. Instead, during that time that Stephanie was sick, Ashleigh was traveling to run retreats with her friends. Here is a text that co-plotter Taylor Call had sent to a friend on November 6th of 2018.
I'm good, just now back from California. The retreat was wonderful, but loads of work. Gretchen was sick and in the hospital the whole time, so it was me, Ash, and Mel, full on.
That text was sent just 7 days before Stephanie passed away. So for over 2 years, despite Ashleigh taking multiple trips, despite her having the time to run retreats, despite the family using a private jet to visit Pennsylvania where Stephanie lived, all while Stephanie was sick, Ashleigh didn't visit Stephanie once. Instead, Ashleigh was using that time trying to become something in the health industry using the medical medium name. In Ashleigh's blog post from 2020, where she began peddling her original false storyline about what happened with Stephanie, she told a massive additional falsity.
I have absolutely no agenda. I don't make money off clients or my Instagram. I intentionally never have. And the reason for that is because of how highly I value the truth. I know it's hard to trust people in the current climate of social media, and no one is perfect, but I want you guys to be able to trust me as much as you choose to.
As nice and as trusting as that might sound, it's far from the truth, and it's incredibly manipulative. Ashleigh clearly had an agenda all along, and Ashleigh has very much made money off of her Instagram, or at least she's tried to, and she had every intention to do so. I'm going to go through some examples. First of all, Ashleigh once had a platform on Instagram of around 20,000 followers. She had this platform mostly because the medical medium account was reposting her, and that's largely how her account grew to what it was at the time. Ashleigh then used that platform, built from the medical medium community, to sell a myriad of different digital products and in-person events. One type of digital product Ashleigh made money from was her ebooks that she marketed on her Instagram account. There were 3 different ebooks, and we have receipts that were submitted to us by people who had purchased them from Ashleigh in 2018, 2019, and 2020. 2 of them were $7 each for PDF copies and $15 each for hard copies, and one of them was $20 for a PDF copy and $25 for a hard copy. In 2018 through 2020, Ashleigh was promoting her offerings a lot on social media. Ashleigh shared screenshots directly onto her Instagram stories that customers had taken of their receipts from purchasing Ashleigh's ebooks at the time. Of course, Ashleigh would share these receipts to try to encourage more people to buy her ebooks through her Instagram. Ashleigh promoted her ebooks constantly on her Instagram page. There were so many promotional posts, but we're going to read off the captions for just a few of them. In one post Ashleigh made during that time period, she said,
January 1st is coming, and I know a lot of us will use the momentum of a new year to jumpstart our health goals. So I'm offering my Nourish ebook for half off on my website, now until January 2nd. Grab your copy for just $10 at the link in my bio.
In another promotional post, Ashleigh did a giveaway to try to reach more people. This one said,
The recipe for these potato cakes with roasted garlic cream sauce is in my potatoes recipe book. And one of you has a final chance to win a hard copy of that and my sweet potatoes recipe book as well. To enter, tag as many people as you can below. The person who tags the most people gets the books. It's that easy. I've always preferred games where your fate was in your own hands. This will be hilarious. Ready, set, go. P.S. You can also buy the books yourself at the link in my profile. The ebooks are $7 each, and the hard copies are $15.
This was obviously a tactic for Ashleigh to get as many comments and tags as possible so that she could get her name out there more and to get her ebooks to sell to more people. In another promotional post on January 10th of 2019, Ashleigh said,
This recipe for buttermilk mashed potatoes uses cashews and it's low-fat, oil-free. You can find it in my potatoes ebook, link in my profile, and grab a copy for just $7.
In a May 14th, 2019 post, Ashleigh said this.
You can find the recipe in my potatoes ebook by visiting the link in my profile and checking out the books section there.
Ashleigh did another giveaway promotional post for her ebooks on May 23rd of 2019, 6 months after Stephanie passed away. This one said,
I'm giving away another hard copy of each of my recipe books. To enter, tag your food bestie and tell me one of your favorite things to eat together. P.S. If you are naturally a sort of impatient person like me and you just gotta have them, they're available for purchase on my website now at the link in my profile. May the odds be ever in your favor.
But what takes the cake out of all of this is that Ashleigh actually released her second ebook the day after Stephanie passed away. In her November 14th, 2018 promotional post, Ashleigh even casually mentioned in the caption that a friend of hers had died last night, but that she felt like it was still the right thing to do to launch and start selling her next ebook anyway. Ashleigh is the daughter of a billionaire. It's not like she needed the money. She had no publisher and no deadline. This was an ebook Ashleigh self-published. She had the freedom to release it at any time of her choosing, and she decided that the day after Stephanie died was the right time. And then in the caption of the promotional post, Ashleigh said this.
I could use your help getting the word out about this little book. I just didn't have the energy to do the giveaways and the hype stuff to build momentum for it. But that's the way life goes.
Ashleigh offered to donate some of the proceeds of her book sales to relief efforts for the Woolsey fires that were going on and affecting Ashleigh personally at the time. But not all of the proceeds. And again, Ashleigh is the daughter of a billionaire. She doesn't need sales from the medical medium community to donate to a cause.
What a bizarre time to try to make money. Not even 24 hours after Stephanie died. That's the kind of thing you do when you don't care about the person who died. But to each their own.
So not only did Ashleigh lie about never making money or trying to make money off of her Instagram, clearly she did, but Ashleigh even tried to make money off of her Instagram the very next day after Stephanie passed away. And Ashleigh was not only making money on Instagram with her ebooks, but she was also trying desperately to make a name and a brand for herself. Ashleigh used the name of her weight loss ebook and made a separate Instagram account for it. She did Instagram lives promoting it. She made a Facebook group for it. She created an Instagram hashtag for it. And she used the hashtag in a bunch of her posts and encouraged other people to use the hashtag too. And Ashleigh wanted to do a retreat in 2020 centered around this brand she created. One Instagram post she had made a few years ago said this:
I'm over here dreaming up holding some retreats this year based on my meal plan.
Ashleigh also participated in a vegan bundle with one of her ebooks, another avenue of Ashleigh making money off of her Instagram. We have a receipt that was submitted to us from someone who purchased the bundle with Ashleigh's ebook in it for $50 from Ashleigh on February 7th of 2020, which was just 4 days before Ashleigh started coming out against medical medium and publicly spreading false stories about Stephanie. Think about this. Ashleigh was making money off of the medical medium community through Instagram 4 days before coming out with her false story. For anyone who doesn't know how bundle companies work, I'll give you an example. I was asked to be an affiliate for a bundle company multiple times over the past year. I chose not to participate, but I was sent all of the information about how the commission structure works. The vegan bundle that Ashleigh participated in was a different type of bundle than the one I was asked to be a part of, but the structure for all of them is very similar, so I'm going to read off parts of the pitch that I received to give you a peek into how much money Ashleigh could have made from being a digital product contributor in the vegan bundle and selling and marketing it directly from her Instagram account. The pitch I received said this: in short, we have over 100 creators come together and each add their book or course. As an affiliate, you would make $19 per bundle you sell. I sold 800 bundles our last launch. In the bundle company's creator section of their website, participating in the bundle is marketed to have the following benefits. It says, why should I join? 1, high earnings. 2, huge exposure. 3, followers love it. And then in the commission breakdown section, it says, if you contribute with one or several of your digital products in the bundle, you get 70% commission of the net profit, which is $33 per bundle sold. As somebody contributing an ebook, Ashleigh could have gotten a similar commission, making around $33 per bundle she sold through promoting it on her Instagram. The person who reached out to me with this proposal said that they sold 800 bundles during one 10-day launch as an example. So just to piece all of this together for everyone, if Ashleigh, with her 20,000 followers at the time, would have sold even half of the example amount that I was given for a similar bundle, and therefore made 400 sales at $33 commission per bundle sold, Ashleigh would have made $13,200 in 10 days. And again, all of this is done through marketing the bundles on Instagram, meaning that Ashleigh, in fact, made money or tried to make money off of her Instagram.
Once again, Ashleigh misled people.
We not only have proof that Ashleigh did, in fact, make money or try to make money off of her Instagram, but we also have proof that she got new customers and likely made more money after she started peddling her false storyline about Stephanie. Here's a comment somebody made to Ashleigh on Instagram on February 11th of 2020. It says, "Hi Ash, I had no idea who you were until today when your post about your dear friend started circulating social media. First, I'm so sorry for the losses that you've experienced, and I'm hopeful that by sharing this that it will help those of us who follow Anthony make those hard decisions about the intersection of holistic wellness and life-saving modern medicine. So many of us have been so sick for so long, and we are vulnerable to a message of healing, even if it's tainted or imperfect in some way. Thank you for sharing your truth. I think it's so important to not follow anything or anyone blindly, although so many have experienced healing with Anthony. And I was super excited to order all of your books, sending you lots of love."
To begin with, that person believed I did what Ashleigh said I did. Ashleigh created a false story, and that person believed it. And now that person believes Ashleigh is doing a justifiable action. Most likely, that person will never hear the truth, and they're probably just gone. They left thinking that I hurt somebody. Second, she purchased all of Ashleigh's books. So Ashleigh made money selling books on a platform that was built off of medical medium, and then at the same time using a false story to do so in that instance. Oh yeah, and Ashleigh claimed that she never made money on her Instagram. And here it is. Little old, honest Ashleigh once again being dishonest.
Even better than that, Ashleigh's ebooks are still available for purchase to this day. Multiple people submitted receipts to us from their purchases of Ashleigh's ebooks in December of 2023. And Ashleigh wanted to make a whole lot more money off of the medical medium community through many different avenues. This was what she wanted. One money-making avenue was through running big retreats. First, in 2016, Ashleigh began by sending an email to let Anthony and his wife know that she wanted to host a retreat in Santa Monica, California, and she asked them if they would give her and her retreat a shout out. Then later on in 2016, Ashleigh submitted a business proposal to Anthony. Ashleigh wanted to do medical medium retreats with Anthony using the medical medium name in the summer of 2017. In the business proposal, which I have in front of me, Ashleigh included a cost analysis and financial forecast for 150 attendees with a cost of attendance of $3,000 per person and a total revenue amount of $450,000. It's worth noting that in this 2016 business proposal, Ashleigh listed Robbie Barbero on the retreat itinerary as someone who would have been teaching classes at the medical medium retreat that she wanted to run and profit from. Ashleigh also stated in her business proposal that, quote, by looking ahead to 2018, the, quote, event could grow up to 250 people if desired. This shows that Ashleigh's desire was to do medical medium retreats for years to come and to make even more money with more people. At $3,000 per person with 250 people, like Ashleigh desired, the revenue would have been $750,000. And then came a pivotal moment in history. Anthony turned it all down and said no to Ashleigh's big retreat proposal.
I've always felt Ashleigh was not looking out for the community and the chronically ill so much. She was more into what can Ashleigh get out of this, and that concerned me.
Ashleigh got turned down, and then Ashleigh still had her mind set on doing retreats, so she went forward with trying to do them on her own. We have a screenshot from Ashleigh's old website in which she had a spot she was using to market upcoming retreats. Under upcoming events, it says, Summer Retreat 2017, check back for more information soon. Ashleigh was trying to market her own retreat, but it seems as though this retreat never ended up taking place. However, Ashleigh still kept trying to move forward to make her big retreat business plans happen. Here is a text Ashleigh sent to someone on April 29th of 2018.
Would be fun to buy a small house there and just set it up to do retreats, like comfy bunk beds in each room, and make it hold 10 to 12 people. And then I could fly in to lead retreats once a month and make like 30 grand. House would pay for itself.
And here is another text she sent to the same person 3 days later.
It would make even more sense for me to just do like a full month of retreats twice a year and bring in $240K, less with costs, of course. How much cash do I need in the bank, do you think, to get a loan on these houses? I'd want to do it without my trust.
She's the daughter of a billionaire family. She has a trust fund, and she was trying to use medical medium to make it big in the health industry, and she didn't want to dip into her trust. And I can promise you this, her trust fund doesn't just have $20,000 in it.
I'm sure it doesn't. We've got the daughter of a billionaire with a trust fund who's trying to act like she can't even afford a lawyer. But she does have a lawyer, by the way, everybody should know that. And she was trying to do medical medium retreats so that she could make $240,000 a year from the chronically ill, only have to show up for 2 months out of the year, and she didn't want to dip into her trust fund. Amazing. Next, I'm going to play voice text that Ashleigh sent to Anthony around that same time in 2018, asking him again about doing retreats. Note that we are redacting the name of her child for privacy.
As you'll hear in the audios, the retreats were her and her friends' ideas. Ashleigh reached out multiple times over the course of 17 days, trying to get me on the phone, trying to get me involved, and still trying to use the medical medium name on them and get me to promote them. And I was not interested and told her no. This was many months after Stephanie was diagnosed with cancer, and Ashleigh was trying to do business with me.
Aunt, hey, it's Ash. I know for... Oh! Sorry. Got too big a mouthful of milk. It's okay, buddy. Okay, I know you talked to Gretch about this, but she and I are trying to get some retreat stuff going, and she's doing one in Hawaii that I'm going to help her do the food for, which will be really fun. But we've also been talking about this main idea, and we're getting a proposal from them to do a retreat for a smaller group, like you and I talked about, of about 30 people this coming September. And I just wanted to get a feel from you, because I wasn't sure. I kind of felt like you weren't really wanting to be involved in that, which is totally fine. I just wanted to make sure before we go ahead and see, like, is that something that you would want to do through medical medium at all? And if not, we're going to just market it as like a family retreat where like the food happens to follow medical medium healing guidelines, and we'll run all our marketing by you guys just to make sure it's like on the up and up. But it wouldn't be like, we would make sure to make it clear it's not like affiliated with medical medium. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, because I sort of got the vibe of like you're not sure about that yet. But correct me if I'm wrong, okay? If you guys would like to be, like, have medical medium be the face of something like that, the idea, I mean, the retreat is just on a beautiful retreat facility, and there's hiking and beaches and a lake, and we're not going to plan, like, too much for people. It's mostly about, a chance to get together with other people and all the food, have the food done for you and just to rest. And maybe there'll be like a cooking demo and some like guided meditations or something like that, but nothing super structured, nothing real formal. It'll just be an opportunity for people to come take advantage of the location. All I have to say, just let me know if it's something you guys do end up feeling like you want to be more through the MM banner, or if you'd rather us just kind of take the lead and run with it. And like I said, I'll check with you in case to make sure all our marketing is really clear in that case, that it's not through you guys, and we'll be careful with the wording and everything.
That first audio was sent on April 27th in 2018. Ashleigh did not get a response from Anthony. And then Ashleigh sent another one, nudging him further on May 14th.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon. I don't know where you are. This is the week we have to make a decision about the main retreat. We got a proposal back from Catherine at Point Lookout. It suggests a cost of about $41,000, and that's with an estimate of 30 people, 30 adults and 10 children. So the cost per person comes down to a little, like around $1,100 per person. So I think it has the potential to be a pretty good little test trial. If we are thinking of a retreat cost of around $3,000. And it's really cool because if it did work, next year we could do the same thing for 150 people. And all of a sudden, then it would really be generating some income. Let me know your thoughts. It's obviously no pressure, but we just are going to have to make some decisions about it this week. So any insight into what you're thinking and whether you guys would want to be involved would be awesome. Okay, love ya. Bye.
Ashleigh's saying here that the retreat she had been planning would just be a test trial. She said that she wants to charge people $3,000 for the retreat and ultimately, at some point, host 150 people, which, if you do the math, would bring in almost $500,000. $500,000 for one retreat. Anthony, how did you respond to this prodding from Ashleigh?
I turned her down again.
Right. And then after you turned her down, Ashleigh still tried to pursue doing retreats on her own to whomever she could sell them to. Ashleigh did end up hosting a retreat later on with now co-plotters Taylor and Gretchen, and they had a total of 12 attendees. I'm sure that 12 attendees made Ashleigh a lot less money than the 150 to 250 attendees that Ashleigh was hoping to get from doing retreats with Anthony using his name and likeness. Ashleigh's retreat with Taylor and Gretchen took place in Oahu, Hawaii from October 15th through the 21st in 2018. This retreat ended just 3.5 weeks before Stephanie passed away. In the marketing that was done to promote it on Instagram, the details of the retreat included, quote, all organic, plant-based, grain-free meals in line with the medical medium protocol, and quote, cooking classes led by Ashleigh. So again, Ashleigh was too busy to visit Stephanie once while she was sick, but she certainly wasn't too busy to travel from where she was living in California to Hawaii and run retreats using medical medium information. And then, even over a year after Stephanie passed away, Ashleigh was still trying to run medical medium retreats. Ashleigh ended up trying to sell a retreat that she would have hosted along with Gretchen in 2020. Initially, the retreat dates were going to be August 31st to September 5th of 2020. Initially, Ashleigh had said that she wanted to add a second week to that, but then she changed her mind. Ashleigh marketed this retreat all over her Instagram in early 2020, just literal weeks before she came out with her false Stephanie story. In one Instagram post, Ashleigh started describing the retreat by saying this.
Cost is $3,800 for the week. All meals, daily hiking, and yoga and celery juice included.
In that same Instagram story post, Ashleigh included a blurry photo of random people swimming in the ocean. She drew an arrow pointing to two of them and said this.
I recognize that these are random people, but this could be you and me.
In the next Instagram story, Ashleigh said this.
I know it's expensive, but if you find a buddy and save $10 a day between now and then, you can both come.
Ashleigh then did a series of promotional Instagram stories for the retreat. One said this.
OMG, you guys, I booked it. I'm freaking out. Who will come eat dinner at this table with me?
She also included a poll in this post with one option being yes and the other option being yes also, next to a photo of an outdoor table overlooking the beach. Then Ashleigh posted a very blurry photo of a bed and said this.
There are so few spaces, 6 each week. Is this your bed?
Ashleigh did many other promotional posts for this retreat on her Instagram. And then she said this.
And for those of you who feel like you're missing out, don't worry. I'll do something here in LA in May. More on that after I fill up Hawaii.
So Ashleigh planned to continue on doing retreats and making money. Ashleigh then had 2 long-standing story highlights up on her Instagram in 2020. One was for marketing her retreat, and the other was for marketing one of her ebooks. In addition to those retreats, on her former website, Ashleigh marketed a variety of different offerings. A dinner party she hosted in 2018. A wellness week private retreat for 2 people in 2019. A cooking class and meal planning workshop that Ashleigh charged $150 per person for in 2018. And a virtual meal planning workshop that Ashleigh charged $60 per person for in 2018. Ashleigh also had an Amazon storefront. She linked products like Vimergy's barley grass juice powder, which Ashleigh described by saying this.
One of the supplements I take every single day, I filed it under beauty because it has helped my hair grow in so thick and shiny.
Ashleigh had plenty of plans for making money off of the medical medium community through many other avenues as well. In 2016, Ashleigh submitted a proposal to Anthony's wife in which Ashleigh offered to invest in getting a YouTube channel going for medical medium. Ashleigh proposed doing a 50-50 revenue split. Ashleigh wanted 50% of all of the medical medium YouTube earnings. This is something that never ended up panning out.
And so just so everyone is clear, to this day, I do not accept money from YouTube. This was Ashleigh calculating and planning some kind of financial endeavor that she wanted to do with me that wasn't about money going back into the community with more free resources. Instead, it was Ashleigh hoping to make money for herself. Classic Ashleigh.
We also have texts that Ashleigh sent to a health practitioner friend on November 7th of 2017. They said this.
What if we did an ebook specifically for the postpartum period? And if we kept it short and sweet, we could release it for like $10 or something. We could possibly talk to Ant and Rach and see if they want to do it through medical medium. Like, we could design the whole thing, but they could release it as an ebook or something. So much more reach that way.
Again, this was taking place during the time that Stephanie was sick. Instead of visiting Stephanie, Ashleigh was using that time trying to become something in the health industry using the medical medium name. Another text she sent to the same friend on March 27th of 2018 reads,
I know. I wrote a whole book last year and then realized I had to do a proposal and still haven't started. LOL.
On May 15th of 2018, the friend asked, when is your ebook launch? So exciting. And Ashleigh replied,
Probably in another 2 weeks or so. I know, so much exciting stuff these days. I'm cooking for Gretchen's retreat in October. I decided to host the one-day cooking class of my very own this August, and the ebook. I'm talking to an agent today about doing my own cookbook. We're remodeling the playroom and the yard. My head is spinning.
Around this time, Ashleigh had asked me to co-author a medical medium recipe book with her, and I said no and turned her down.
It looks like after Ashleigh got turned down on co-authoring a medical medium book, Ashleigh then went around trying to pursue a book deal on her own. And Ashleigh was desperately trying to grow a following on social media. Here is a text she sent to a friend in 2017.
Had a meeting with a marketing consultant yesterday.
The friend responded by asking, is this for your brand for your book? And Ashleigh replied,
I basically just have to get my numbers up before I post all the random baby photos and stuff. Yeah, every time I post something other than food, I lose about 10 followers, which adds up. So I have to sort of streamline and focus.
In the same text thread, Ashleigh said,
up for a little friendly competition? I just want to I don't know. I need some inspiration to get serious about growing my Insta. So I thought you might be down for a little challenge, like first one to gain 10K or something. We can put some fun stakes on it.
Ashleigh was regularly asking this person for advice on how to grow her social media following. In another text, she asked,
question. Did your IG growth slow down so much because you're only posting less frequently? How many times do you think one needs to post to grow?
After receiving advice, Ashleigh said this.
Okay, I've been trying to post once a day, and I lose followers at that rate, LOL. It seems like if you start a YouTube channel, you get way more followers without posting as much.
After receiving advice again a couple days later, Ashleigh said this.
I finally have been consistent enough with Insta where I'm not losing followers. At least once a day posting results in like super slow growth, like 10 new a day or so.
On a later date, frustrated with not seeing the growth she so desired, Ashleigh sent this text.
I'm posting twice a day on IG, really top quality photos and seeing no growth.
She got some more advice from this person on switching up her hashtags, and then several hours later, Ashleigh texted back.
Okay, I changed them up to see if it helps. Got a little boost from switching them up.
Okay, so Ashleigh had a meeting with an agent about getting herself a book deal. Ashleigh had a meeting with a marketing consultant, and then she was trying really hard to grow her social media following. Anthony, can you explain for listeners how book deals work and why this was so important to her?
It was a different world back in 2018. It was before influencers could become famous on social media. You either got somewhere on television, acting, music, getting signed in a record deal, something in sports, or in publishing. Getting a book deal, maybe. It was before the time period we're living in now, where someone hits their grandmother over the head with a 2x4 and gets 20 million views, and the person who hit the grandmother over the head with the 2x4 has endorsement deals. The world has changed. Ashleigh was desperate to get a book deal, desperate to become somebody. Ashleigh wanted to co-author a book with me. She was very entitled and raised that way, and she expected to co-author a book with me. She expected it. I said no for a multitude of reasons, and I'm so glad I said no because this is the kind of person she is. Back then, I noticed that when I spoke to Ashleigh, she would say something, and then the second time she said it, it would be different. I didn't trust her. I said no. So Ashleigh tried to get a book deal on her own, and in order to get a book deal on her own, she needed a certain number of followers. So Ashleigh was trying to learn from people like Robbie, her best friend, one of the other plotters, how to build followers on her Instagram, Facebook.
That makes sense. So clearly Ashleigh was trying to make a name for herself and build a platform for herself. She ultimately wanted to be famous. She was definitely also trying to make money. The claims Ashleigh made when she was trying to get people to trust her with her fake Stephanie story that she never made money off of her Instagram and intentionally never did because of how much she, quote, values the truth are flat out lies. Ashleigh was using Instagram to sell ebooks, retreats, bundles, and more. And let's be clear, making money off of Instagram is fine. That's not the problem. But why did Ashleigh feel the need to lie about it? Furthermore, Ashleigh even tried to pursue another avenue for profit by offering to invest in a brand that Anthony endorses. Here is the text she had sent to the owner of that company.
Also, bear this in mind. If you ever decide you want to do a big push with Vimergy and take on some investment and try and grow it up quick, let me know. I'd do it with y'all in a heartbeat.
There you have it. Ashleigh got turned down on this proposal as well.
Ashleigh Foster always gets her way. No one's allowed to tell Ashleigh no. If they do, Ashleigh will turn on them. Anyone who tells her no will pay the price. It's who she is.
Not only did Ashleigh eagerly want to invest in Vimergy, but this is also a company that has products that, before Ashleigh got upset and turned on everyone, Ashleigh said she used every day and that helped her hair, quote, grow in so thick and shiny. Now, after being turned down by them years ago, Ashleigh and her hateful group repeatedly attack this company along with Anthony and the medical medium community. After we released the Plotter podcast episodes last year, in another post Ashleigh made as she was trying to save face, she said this.
Something that really bothers me is how Anthony claimed in his podcast that we were doing this for money, but at the same time claims that we must be part of some evil plot because we have money. Which one is it?
This is inaccurate. If you listen back, this instead is what was actually said in our first podcast episode. What I learned is that the strategy of this group is to try to capture people like those young women with a manipulated story of a deceased person who isn't here anymore to speak for herself or to defend the truth of what actually happened. They might throw in some other random misinformation to add to their story of why you shouldn't trust medical medium, because they try to act like they have some special information that you just don't know, even though all these people still admitted to applying medical medium information into their own lives, yet they say that they don't trust you. They just don't, they explicitly say that they don't credit the source. They use it and don't credit the source. And I literally heard them out on all of their points for a total of over 17 hours. And I can tell you that everything that they think they have is a bunch of twisted misinformation. Their false narrative story is the guise that they're using, but what these calls also made clear to me is that some of these sources are part of this plan because they're actually being driven by, some of it is misplaced grief, some of it is people being driven by guilt, but most of them, disturbingly, are being driven by self-interests and what they would stand to gain financially and otherwise from the impact of a medical medium takedown. I stand by all of that. Ashleigh always gets it wrong. First, as you can hear, it was me who said this, not Anthony. Hi, Ashleigh. I did not say that you were a part of a plot because you have money. Your friend Taylor called you out for having a lot of money, like Private Jet Plus. Her words. I said that I suspected that the plotters had mixed motives. We didn't mention the fact that some of them have money and some of them don't have money. And there are plenty of extremely wealthy people out there, including billionaires and daughters of billionaires, who never stop wanting to make more money. What Ashleigh said is a false dichotomy. In fact, Ashleigh knows that this is a false dichotomy. In text messages she sent to a friend in 2017, Ashleigh used the following words to describe her own father, who had long since been a billionaire, and his business dealings.
He's trying to build something bigger and bigger and bigger. I think he's just addicted to the game. He's a real, true addict. The rush of the gambling element is so addictive to him.
While Ashleigh was applying medical medium information, she wanted to do high-profit retreats without dipping into her trust fund, admitting in that very text that she has money, but that she wants to make more. Ashleigh was selling ebooks, she was working with bundle companies, she wanted to be an author, she was meeting with marketing consultants, she wanted to grow a following, she wanted to run the Medical Medium YouTube channel for 50% of the earnings, she wanted to have a stake in a company endorsed by Medical Medium, and more.
Ashleigh also talked about wanting to do a positive medical medium documentary on me on the Light Blast years ago. She had her sights set on it. She was obsessed with it.
Okay, so this is going to be shocking for people listening to hear that. So Ashleigh has wanted to make a documentary in some way, shape, or form about you for a long time. This goes way back. One of the most interesting things I've seen from Ashleigh is that one of her longest standing goals has been to become successful, specifically in the film industry. In a blog post Ashleigh wrote in 2010, she described a rule book she had for herself. One of her rules was this.
Write. Did you write today? Write. And the writing you do today must eventually lead to a successful career in the film industry.
As you just heard, Ashleigh has always wanted to be successful in the film industry. Ashleigh's husband is also a documentary cinematographer. I'm sure that he wants to be well known for that. Can you describe for everyone, Anthony, what the proposal that Ashleigh made to you years ago for a positive medical medium documentary was like?
Ashleigh was so fixated on wanting to do a documentary. She asked me about it first on the phone. She asked a mutual friend about it over and over again. That mutual friend brought it up to my wife and I again and was in conversation with Ashleigh about it. Ashleigh wanted to write and control the content of the documentary. She wanted her husband to film it, and she wanted her sister to edit it. Over the years, I've been approached many times by big producers, media companies, and networks about doing a medical medium documentary or TV show. My wife and I thought it'd be great to get people's healing stories and more information out there to help the chronically ill at some point, but we wouldn't have gone to Ashleigh to do a documentary. We entertained Ashleigh's ideas, but then we quickly became concerned about what Ashleigh was saying.
So I have that text thread in front of me. Your wife initiates a conversation with Ashleigh about it after Ashleigh had been prodding about doing a documentary for a while. Ashleigh says that she had thought about doing the documentary idea a lot, and then she gets into her proposal. She starts describing some of her ideas.
I like the idea of following a new client. We could even fake that part a bit. LOL. It can be an actor that recreates a storyline that is true. That's frequently done for documentaries.
This sounds super sketchy. Very weird of Ashleigh to suggest being dishonest and to say that that's frequently done in documentaries. After your wife politely responds, "Interesting," Ashleigh right away changes her mind on the idea that she herself just presented.
The actor idea is no good. If someone got wind of it, it would be real bad. But it is common. LOL.
These were more signs we saw firsthand of Ashleigh being manipulative and dishonest. It made us really, really uncomfortable.
Right after Ashleigh's last message, your wife changes the subject and ends the documentary conversation. So I'm guessing you guys had turned her down on that sketchy proposal as well.
Yeah, in the nicest way possible. She kept asking about it and prodding, and it's something we were never going to do with her. We didn't want to disappoint Ashleigh, but we just were not on the same page about it at all. For Ashleigh to suggest altering a documentary so it becomes dishonest was unimaginable for a medical medium documentary. We were sitting there wondering, why on earth is Ashleigh telling us this is how you do a documentary? You fabricated in a dishonest way. This was a shocker to us.
Yeah. So Ashleigh wanted her hand in every pot with you. I'm sure that she saw you as a ticket to success. Everybody knows that you're one of the biggest health authors in the world. Ashleigh was trying to use the medical medium name to get herself and her husband somewhere. And she ended up getting turned down from basically every angle. Ashleigh had spent years trying to pursue all these different avenues, and they were unsuccessful. Ashleigh was struggling to grow a following. She got turned down on co-authoring a book with you. Getting a book deal on her own evidently didn't work out. She got turned down on investing in a company endorsed by you. The medical medium YouTube channel deal that Ashleigh proposed didn't work out for her. She got turned down on her proposal to partner with you to do medical medium retreats. Her independent retreat only filled 12 spots. Ashleigh never made it in the film industry like she wanted to. She got turned down on her proposal to do an inspirational documentary about medical medium that she wanted her husband to film and her sister to edit. Was Ashleigh upset with you? I mean, how did she respond to all of this rejection at the time?
She was disappointed and frustrated. Ashleigh wanted desperately to have a hand in everything medical medium, everything. She wanted a piece of everything I was doing, and now look what she's doing because she didn't get her way. Ashleigh's not used to being told no. It's an entitlement and an ego thing. When Ashleigh realized she wasn't going to be able to get all of these high-profile business deals with me, she flipped. The switch was flipped. And she started making things up that didn't exist. She started working on her false storylines, and any communication she had with me of any kind or anybody I was associated with, she started to try to twist and rewrite history so she could tell people a disturbing story that never existed. And then she decided to take her stories to the media to try to hurt me and the community.
And you turned her down on these deals years ago because you had concerns about her intentions?
I turned her down for multiple reasons. First of all, every time someone I knew would talk to Ashleigh, they would be left shaking their heads because it seemed that nothing that came out of Ashleigh's mouth was totally accurate. She was 50-50 at best, 50% mixed in accurate things with 50% mixed in completely wrong, inaccurate information. And it was obvious to me that Ashleigh was only wanting to be involved with Medical Medium because of her wanting to start a business involving me or use me to launch her business. And I knew this about Ashleigh. It's not that I'm saying it's bad she wants to become somebody. It's bad that her desire was to become somebody using me. And then when I said no, afterwards, trying to destroy the medical medium community and me because she didn't get her way. Even if there was a world where I was naive enough to give Ashleigh all that she wanted, a book deal with me, big retreats with my name on them, $750,000 like pop, documentaries for her and her husband, money made from those ventures, which could have equated to millions, would have been taken from the community and not invested back into the community on any level. It would have been self-serving. As we'll cover later on, Ashleigh is so cheap, she wouldn't buy Stephanie a coach plane ticket to help Stephanie get out to Ashleigh's family's Pebble Beach mansion. And money that I've made from working around the clock, a big portion of that money goes back into producing free everything for the community. If there was a world where I was naive enough to let Ashleigh go into multiple business deals with me, all that money would have been squandered, penny pinched, and self-serving for her children and her lifestyle so that she can have expensive vacations and grandiose dinners with friends, all while I will still be standing in my kitchen eating a steamed potato, standing up, working 20 hours a day to get the next book out so people can heal. An example of how Ashleigh works is that she wanted to make all this money from you, the community, that doesn't have money. So she didn't have to touch her trust fund, a trust fund with an exorbitant amount of money in it. It would have been unfair to the community that Ashleigh was making a killing off their backs. I could not live with that. So I chose not to do a documentary with her. I chose not to let her co-author books with me. And I chose not to go into the retreat business with her using my name. Ashleigh would have made a killing so that she could avoid using her trust fund from her billionaire father. Now, after I turned her down and she didn't get what she wanted, Ashleigh is trying to become famous through pretending to be a whistleblower, spreading lies, false claims, and disinformation, and trying to frame me along with her partner, Tony Tizzoni, Stephanie's brother, who, as one of the plotters said, is just looking for someone to blame. According to another plotter, Tony has multiple fake accounts on social media platforms, and he may not realize it, but he's doing Ashleigh's bidding. She's stoking the flames of his grief and anger, and Tony doesn't know why Ashleigh's really on this mission. She's using him. Ashleigh has recruited other people to spread her lies for her. We have insider information that she's promising the people who are supporting her a spot in a documentary. Ultimately, Ashleigh's goal is now to make it somewhere in the film industry by trying to get a deal for a negative hit piece documentary about me and to take the medical medium community down in the process.
I also want to ask you this because I know that there will be people out there wondering about spirit. And if Ashleigh was capable of all of this, spinning stories and lying to harm you and attacking the medical medium community, then can you explain why did Spirit let you engage with her at all?
Spirit told me not to engage with Ashleigh, and I voiced that to my friends. Ashleigh was a friend of a friend. I communicated with Ashleigh very little. I kept her at arm's length. When I got off the phone after one of my first calls with her, I said to my wife, no, she is not a good person. She seems empty and soulless and not genuine. And Spirit's given me a warning. But I gave it a chance because I always keep faith that people will heal their mental state. Spirit gave me the potential that Ashleigh could be an ill-intentioned person, but you can only hope that someone uses their free will to do good things and not harmful things, despicable things, abusive things. And I didn't want to let a mutual friend down who was wanting me to connect with Ashleigh. For somebody that said I saved her and her sister's life, and to turn so dark and to lie so much really brings me a new understanding of what people can be. I mean, you expect out there in the world for things to go wrong, but you never expect a mom to be so conniving and just plain evil. She built the whole thing off of, originally, I never told Stephanie to see a doctor, which was a lie. That alone is sick. If you think her falsities, lies, and fabricated stories about me are harmful and ridiculous now, what would have happened if I didn't keep Ashleigh at arm's length?
I mean, just in what we've exposed in this episode alone, Ashleigh has been wildly dishonest about her wealth. She said, quote, "There's nothing crazy going on over here," when she is in fact the daughter of a late multi-billionaire with cars and homes and planes all over the world. And she grew up in a mansion, according to the Daily Beast, next door to former US President George W. Bush. Just a good old humble next door neighbor, nothing crazy going on over here. She lied about not having a private jet. She lied about not having vacation homes. She lied about not making money off of Instagram. She lied about never having the intention to make money off of Instagram. Ashleigh, in fact, had every intention to make money off of her Instagram, and also specifically to repeatedly make $240,000 off of the medical medium community without dipping into her trust fund by doing retreats 2 months out of the year. Plus, to gain a whole lot more money and fame off of other ventures she wanted you to set up for her. Ashleigh lied about having no agenda. Her agenda is despicable and crystal clear for everyone to see. Stephanie was sick for 2 whole years, and despite Ashleigh having all of the means in the world, the convenience of a private jet that even went directly to Pennsylvania, where Stephanie lived, and somehow the time to be able to travel for other purposes, like to host retreats that she was trying to make money off of, Ashleigh did not visit Stephanie once. What Ashleigh's doing is not about Stephanie. Ashleigh has exploited and used Stephanie, now along with multiple others as well. And because her twisted Stephanie story didn't do the damage she desperately wanted it to, Ashleigh's now twisting and manipulating and spinning more stories. Whatever she can do to harm you and the community. Ashleigh has a vendetta against you because she didn't get what she wanted from you. That's clear. She didn't get the success, the fame, the retreat deal, the book deal, the followers, or the positive documentary deal that she wanted. And now that she didn't get what she wanted from you, she's running a smear campaign against you and still out there obsessively now wanting to do a negative hit piece documentary about you so that she can become famous and successful that way. This isn't some whistleblower who walked away because of integrity. Ashleigh is trying hard to convince her followers that she is such an honest and transparent person. Yet Ashleigh has not publicly disclosed the fact that she had every desire to make money and become somebody using medical medium. Ashleigh has not disclosed the fact that she made all of these business proposals to Anthony and that she got turned down, all right around the same time as what was happening with Stephanie. Ashleigh has not disclosed that she was still marketing and trying to sell retreats using medical medium information to the community for over a year after Stephanie passed away, and all the way up until literal weeks before she came out with her false story about Stephanie.
It's hard to think that Ashleigh is this motive-driven person when she's breastfeeding or acting like she's this well-to-do, authentic, or honest mom. It's really a good cover. Like she's just a whistleblower to stop a mean man. The story she's telling people never happened, but a mom who seems so honest in every sense, it can win somebody over. It can win a journalist over. It can win other people over, especially people who are looking for a reason to not like me. Her cloak in disguise is this wholesome mother with seemingly so much wisdom who cares so deeply about the world. From the outside, raises her children with the best of values, and then she seeks out journalists. They see this. She puts on this front, How can she be wrong? Influencers who weren't friends of mine, but were acquaintances, she would befriend them purposely to try to sell them these stories that I'm a fraud. And she's worked really hard at it for years now. And in reality, the truth, she has a condition, either born out of jealousy and hatred towards me, or just a different illness where she just can't help but to lie and make up stories. As you'll learn in these episodes to come, Ashleigh can't get anything right or anything straight. Not just her own made-up stories, but factual worldly understandings that can actually be fact-checked, and she'll still be completely off the mark.
We've only just begun exposing Ashleigh and her group, so buckle your seatbelts, everybody, and stay tuned for the next episode in this series. As we are in the process of exposing Ashleigh and her organized hateful group for who and what they really are, it's important to take note of their tactics and patterns that are likely to follow. The plotters have a documented history of initiating attacks using lies and misinformation, and then, upon getting called out and corrected, trying to flip it and play victim. That is not going to work here. All this group has done is spread verifiable lies and falsities. They've carelessly attacked and harmed many innocent people. They've used and exploited deceased individuals and others in the process of trying to get what they want. They've repeatedly, explicitly expressed the intent to harm medical medium, and they've even deliberately tried to stop Anthony from doing a free event to support and raise money for the community. We have every right to set the record straight and to defend the truth with facts and evidence, and to defend the chronically ill against the malicious attacks of this group, and we are going to continue to do so.
We expect the plotters to evade and ignore what they have done wrong. We expect them to continue to lie and spread falsities. We expect them to pivot onto something new they'll make up. And we expect them to skew and alter data and to hide critical pieces of evidence that undermines their entire campaign. We also expect the plotters to fabricate explanations as they do everything they can to try to discredit what we're exposing them for having done and said in their own words. But we are using their own text messages, voice messages, social media posts, words that they spoke on recorded calls and other published materials. There's no use of any AI in any of these episodes and never will be. All of the information was fact-checked and forensically investigated. If you've been harmed, deterred from your healing process, bullied, shamed, emotionally upset, or physically hurt by flare-ups of your conditions from the stress induced by the plotters' attacks, like hundreds of others have reported, please go to medicalmedium.com/safe space to submit your report and share your story. If you've been contacted by anyone who's tried to deter you from using medical medium information, please take screenshots and screen recordings and submit them to the same place, medicalmedium.com/safe space.